What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dreski, and thank you for tuning into Dreski's Detour, where I live my life the best way I can and try to upbring everybody around me by doing so. Today I got a video for you. The title of the video is I finally did it. I quit smoking. This is something that has been very hard. I am 1 week sober, 8 days today. And I'm extremely proud of myself because previously I've quit smoking for the reason being, or I quit smoking for tolerance reasons, or I quit smoking just to, when I did hit the blunt again, you feel me? And you know, it was just, I got tired of it. And this time around, it is for me. I'm completely sober. I want to live a sober life. I've been wanting to live a sober life. I've been trying to quit smoking for the last 4 years. I've been smoking for the last 8 years. So about half the time I've been smoking, I've been trapped smoking. You know, and I just got tired of it. The reason why I started smoking to begin with is the fact that, one, my friends was doing it. You know, that was the hot thing. I was 15 years old. Everybody, all of my friends around me, they was smoking, so it just seemed like the right thing to do. You know, we was all having fun. I didn't want to be the buzzkill, so I just joined the party. After about a few months of doing that, I started going to weed for emotional reasons. You know, I was dealing with stuff at home. I had a very hard upbringing. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but maybe in a future video we'll touch on that a little bit more. But I had a very hard upbringing, and weed was definitely that thing that helped me to overcome those emotions and overcome those feelings without expressing myself. You know, I could just smoke a blunt and let all those emotions be up in the air, and y'all know exactly what I mean if y'all smoke. And I got, you know, it's to the point where I'm ready to take on my adversities sober. You know, I want to have God's strength. You know, I don't want to be sitting here dependent on marijuana, which is something that I definitely became over time. You know, that's something that came with smoking for so long. You kind of build a dependence on that thing where every time I would feel any kind of feeling, I could feel happy, sad, mad. As soon as I felt an overstimulation of that feeling, then I would immediately run to weed. I had to smoke before work. I had to smoke before funerals. I had to smoke before before going to chill with my girl family, going to chill with my family, going to do anything. I had to smoke before, after, and sometimes during. You know, it just wasn't healthy. And I'm so proud of myself for getting over it. And like I said, I'm 8 days sober right now. The sober train gonna be going for a minute. And I hope y'all just on for the ride. A few things I did want to touch on about quitting smoking is the fact that one of the main things that I noticed was my relationships with people. You will be amazed that if you quit smoking or you don't got a blunt around, how many people don't have anything to say. Nothing intelligent at all. Most of the time when you smoking, that allows you to be more loose around people. And granted, I mean, yeah, that was cool, but it's the fact that when you sober and you actually able to think cognitively and intelligently, and you actually able to dig down into your brain and pull out those words that you didn't even know you was capable of. It's when you start doing that people just don't know how to handle it. And you know, I've stopped talking to people just in this week alone. There's been distance in relationships with certain people. You know, there's certain people I can't even have a conversation with because that blunt ain't there, or alcohol isn't a thing. So with me trying to be sober, it's just like I needed to kind of distance myself, and they kind of felt the same way. Like I was in a way bettering myself, so that made me better than them. So that's not the case at all. I'm not trying to be better than nobody. You know, I want to be human. At the end of the day, I didn't come into this world as a plant, so I don't want to be dependent on it. You feel us? And I know that people around the world, you don't want to be dependent on anything besides yourself and God. That's exactly why I'm taking this journey, or exactly why y'all joining me on this journey. A couple benefits of quitting. Immediately after quitting smoking, I realized that I had a boost of energy. I was able to hold conversations without forgetting. That has been the most frustrating things over the last 8 years. Is I'll be in the middle of saying something, forget, or somebody distract me, and I won't be able to go back to that point. And it could be the best point in the world, it could be the best thought in the world, but I wouldn't be able to go back to it because I was hot. I was under the influence. But now that I'm sober, I'm actually able to dig down into those thoughts and go back to what I was saying if I am distracted. And I love it, man. I love it so much. I've noticed a boost of energy in the gym. I've noticed that some of the conversations I've been having, I've been able to be fully engaged in listening, and understanding is another one that stood out to me. I was able to understand people a whole lot more because I'm not high. I'm not under the influence. I'm able to think straight, you know? I'm able to grasp what that person is saying, and I'm able to give that person some feedback from a sober standpoint. And there's nothing like it. I swear there isn't. There's a couple other things I did quit in the midst of me quitting smoking. If you know me, or if you seen me around, or maybe you know me from the past or something like that, then you know I used to tattoo. Tattooed for about 9 months. I got pretty good at it, but I stopped, and I kind of cold turkeyed it, just like I did smoking. And one of the reasons being is because I'm at the point in my life where I'm wanting to do things that I love. I want to do things that I'm passionate about. And tattooing just wasn't one of those things. And I slowly start realizing that the more that I was doing it, At the time, I had lost my job at Amazon, and I was kind of down bad, I didn't have no money for about 2 weeks. I took about 2 weeks off. I did save up some bread, to hold me over for those 2 weeks. But once that 2 weeks hit, there was none, that money run out, and then you like, now what? So I start thinking to myself, I start thinking about all my abilities and what I can do, because I don't like working for nobody. And that's one thing I did love about tattooing, was it's just so independent and it was mine. I don't like working for other people. I will not be working for other people for long. Hopefully just get the ball rolling. But if it don't, then just best believe there's more to come from me. And best believe that if you don't believe nothing else, just best believe you're gonna see me on top one day. But back to what I was saying, I was in the midst of finding some work, couldn't find no work because COVID was going on. Nobody was hiring, nobody was, hitting me back and stuff like that. So I was like, forget it, I'm gonna go to tattooing. I picked up got a chair, I got some lights, I bought a tattoo gun, and I had homies that tattooed, so they kind of showed me the ropes and kind of drug me along, and I learned what I can, and I got good. I got really good. But the thing is, I was only doing it for the money. Once I started building that money, and once I got a job, I work at T-Mobile now, so once I got my job at T-Mobile and I was making money that way, I started realizing that my passion was never into tattooing. It was never putting ink on people. I love drawing, and maybe my passion would be drawing. I still don't know what my passion is, but I know for certain tattooing was not it. But eventually, I got to the point where I was just like, I don't want to do it no more. And a lot of times that's important for you to tell yourself, is you don't want to do something and stop forcing yourself to do it because other people want you to. And that's just, I'm over that stage. I'm not looking for people's approval in what I do with my life anymore. So that was one of the big things I was doing. And it's definitely not my calling. I know my calling has something to do with communications. I know my calling has something to do with children maybe. But tattooing just ain't it. And on top of that, tattooing is a very strenuous job. There's people built for that. And I'm just not one of them. If you don't know, like I mentioned before, some people that know me know that I have a bulging disc. And my back be on 10 sometimes. And it's just, tattooing was just a trigger for it, it seemed like. Every time I would do a tattoo, or a long tattoo that took over 4 or 5 hours sometimes, I would stand up and my legs would go weak. And that was just something that I couldn't get used to. I do have a previous injury to my hand, and that was another thing that was happening and damaging me, because when you're stretching the skin or you're holding a machine in this hand, the vibrations of the tattoo gun aren't exactly comforting on a hand that's already damaged, And yeah, it just in the past, It's just something I can look back on and be like, I did that, and I got really good at it, and I'm proud of myself for all the achievements that I got in it. I'll post some of the pictures that I've done up here. And yes, so that's that. And the last thing that we're gonna touch on is, I've been doing a lot of changing and growing as an adult. I'm 24 or about to be 24. And, you know, God's been definitely using me. God is the leader in my life, and I'm trying to keep him ahead of every choice that I make. Everything that I do, I want to ask God. I want to follow God. And since I've been doing that, I've been realizing that I've been getting more strength. And that's one of the reasons, that's one of the huge reasons on why I was able to quit smoking so easily. After 8 years of doing it, I'm telling you, like, I threw the ducks out the window, and that was it. I ain't had no desire to smoke. I've had my homies around, they smoked around me. My girl, she smoked around me, but I haven't had a single desire to pick up a blunt, roll no weed up. The very first day, maybe after the first 2 days after, maybe, but I was still able to be like, nah, that ain't really what I want to do. And I was able to stick with that. And I can't do nothing but give God the glory for that, because he gave me strength through that, you know. And that's exactly what I was asking for. Another thing with walking with God is I realized that once I did put down the blunt, and it's almost crazy because it's like as soon as I put those down within this last week, so many things have changed in my life. I've made new connections with old people that were in my life, people that were in my life years ago that I fell off from, and, you know, kind of just lived a life. And it wasn't no bad fallouts, but it was just not talking for years. But as soon as I put down the blunt, as soon as I stopped smoking, as soon as I rededicated my life to God, it seemed like all those connections start connecting to each other once again. And it's crazy because the devil will make you feel like you're lonely in certain situations to the point where you have to be dependent on a certain thing. And that's exactly where I was in my life. And I'm so glad that I'm not there anymore. And I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for what God's bringing into my life. I'm excited for, you know, what my homies are around. We building some stuff. And I got my homies Concrete Boys behind me. And they just supporting everything I do. And I support everything they do. So huge shout out to the Concrete Boys. If you ain't subscribed to them, go ahead and subscribe. You're gonna definitely enjoy the content. We be in the gym, we working out, we be doing all kinds of stuff. So just go ahead and check out that channel. I'll put a link in the description or up in this corner somewhere, like down below. I don't know. I'm gonna put it somewhere. That's pretty much all I want to say, you know. If any of y'all need, you know, y'all need help getting over this, feel free to hit me up. Or, you know, if you going through the same thing I am, hit me up. Because if you telling me what you go through and the way that you overcame it, that can help me, and vice versa. I'll tell you the exact way I overcame it, and that'll help you, hopefully. So with that being said, it's been Dreski's Detour. Thank you for tuning in once again. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because I'm definitely gonna be posting more. But yeah, I'm out.